Good afternoon, Miss Hunt. How are you doing today?
I'm doing all right.
Do you prefer for me to call you Miss Hunt, or would you prefer me to call you by Ashley?
You can call me Ashley.
Well, how are you doing today, Ashley?
Okay.
So I know that you have me here talking to you today about your son.
hmm
So since I'm doing some initial information gathering and whatnot, tell me about your son.
Um, his name is Ashton. He's 7 years old, and lately, like his behaviors have just gotten completely out of control.
So Ashton's seven and behaviors out of control. And what
hmm
particular behaviors are those?
Um, so he's he's very aggressive, disrespectful, and defiant. He doesn't sleep, and he's just like hyper 24/7. He doesn't stop.
If I'm quiet, it's only because I'm taking some notes.
That's fine.
So, how long has Ashton been displaying these behaviors?
Um, it's been it's been like maybe a year now. I thought for a while I could handle it myself, but it's just getting like worse and worse.
So, what were the initial behaviors?
The initial behaviors were just it's like not following directions. That was the main one. And some aggression, but initially the aggression was never towards me. And it's gotten to a point that it is towards me. It can be towards anybody now.
So he's indiscriminate with his aggression.
hmm It used to not be that way.
And so when you say aggressive, aggressive in what manner?
Um, he'll bite, he'll kick, he'll hit, he'll destroy property.
And when he is biting or hitting a person,
hmm
is it enough to break skin? Is it enough to cause bodily injury, or is it
Yes,
surface level?
he will cause injury.
And what do you remember the worst injury that he's caused?
I've had a gash in my head because he threw. I forget what he threw at me, but threw something, and I had a gash in my head.
And how did you respond?
I was pretty upset in that instance. I had to walk away. I had to walk away for a while.
And this was when he was what, 6 or 7, or
Yeah, when he was 6.
and once you calmed down, how did you reapproach the situation?
Took everything out of his room.
How did you verbally address the situation?
um, he at that point, so he gets so escalated sometimes that you can't talk to him verbally about it. Um, he has to calm himself down and get to a point where he he can tell me what even happened.
So there was no immediate physical blowback from you.
No. Sometimes he doesn't even remember that it happened. So you can't talk about it if he doesn't remember.
Does your house use corporal punishment?
Sometimes.
And how often would you say that happens?
Not even, like, I don't know, once every 3 months or something.
Okay. So that's not a general normal consequence.
No. For him, that makes things worse.
So last time you did corporal punishment, what did he do as a response?
He just kept hitting me back. Like, just hit. And it just escalates him.
And who else interacts with Ashton on any type of extended period?
It's just me.
So there's no other family members, there's no other siblings that interact with him?
Nope.
There's no community role models, no church role models, no anything else that interacts with him?
Nope. Unless you count school.
Okay. And who interacts with him at school?
Teachers, coaches, counselors.
With you saying the behaviors that he shows at home, does he show those same behaviors at school?
Yes.
And what does the school have in place when they're trying to deal with him and his behaviors?
So they've done a lot of things. They've done peer mediation. They've had to clear out the classroom. But peer mediation is most of it, because that's a lot of what happens at school, is him fighting with other kids.
So if you had to describe your son to somebody, how would you describe him?
Smart and intense.
All right, so you used cover all words by saying smart and saying intense. What is encapsulated in smart and what's encapsulated in intense?
So smart is, he's just like, he's above level on everything. Intense is, he's intense. He is intense in everything too. He's intense with his emotions. He's intense with he's intense with just, you'd have to see this child.
And I think we'll get to that point. But so you say he's above level
Mhm.
in every subject.
Mhm.
If he was to say to be skipped to a different grade, would he emotionally be able to handle it, even though you're saying intellectually it seems like he could?
I don't think so. That's why it hasn't happened yet.
How does he interact with his peers?
Fine, until they do something he doesn't like.
Such as what?
It could be anything. Saying the wrong thing, accidentally touching him.
So he genuinely cannot really interact with his peers.
Mhm. That's a fair statement. Yeah.
And so how does he feel when his peers don't interact with him?
So I know deep down he doesn't like it, because he'll be like, "Mom, I don't have any friends." So that is something that bothers him. I think he wants to be able to appropriately interact. He wants to have friends.
So I know you say it's just him and you.
Mm-hmm.
So other than school, does he have male interaction?
No. No.
What do you do? Go ahead.
He doesn't even have like any type of visitation or anything with his father. He has older brothers, but from his father's side, he doesn't see them.
Okay. What type of outlets do y'all have for him?
I did have him in sports until COVID hit.
Does he currently have any type of diagnosis?
Mm-hmm. ADHD and PTSD.
So since he's not doing sports and I'm assuming he's spending an extended amount of time at home,
Mm-hmm.
what type of activities is he engaging in at home?
I try to get him outside every day, whether it's a walk, a bike ride, something.
And when he's not doing that, what is he doing?
Video games or homework.
So how many hours of video games would you say he's doing a day?
I don't know. That's a good question. A lot.
Would you say 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours?
Maybe like 5.
Does he have to do anything to earn that video game time, or he just gets it every day no matter what?
No, he doesn't earn it.
Does he have to earn anything?
No.
What are the limitations on the stuff that you just give him?
Well, I don't know. That's a tough question.
So, like, if he was like, "Mom, I want these new shoes," would you get them for him?
No. No, I don't just give him things because he asks for it.
So, let's say new shoes. When's the last time he got new shoes?
6 months ago?
And were these like expensive name brand shoes like Nikes or Adidas or?
No. He actually, no, he doesn't care.
So you can just go get him a pair of name brand Bobos and he would be okay.
Hmm.
And then how do the other kids interact with him when he's wearing those?
I don't know. I don't think it's been a problem.
So does he get bullying or get picked on by the other kids, them saying stuff?
No, he's the bully.
So he
He's,
is the one bullying the other kids.
hmm
So could that also be a part of why nobody wants to deal with him?
Yeah.
Is he bigger than the other?
I know that. I know that as an adult. He doesn't get that.
Have you ever tried having that conversation with him?
Mm-hmm.
Did you use nice mommy words or did you say the stuff that might sting?
I'm sure there were both in there.
I mean, I asked that because there's a lot of parents that when they're trying to give information to their kids, they candy coat it.
Yeah, they want to sugarcoat. Yeah. No.
You didn't candy coat it.
No.
So give me a rough idea of what you said to him.
I said exactly what we just said. If you treat people like that, they're not gonna want to be around you. They're not.
Did you try to give him like any examples?
Yeah. Like not scratching kids in the face. That's gonna make them not want to be around you.
Okay. And so, in looking at that, have you been able to figure out what may have started these behaviors for him?
You mean in general?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. He does have an abuse history.
Okay. And so, once the abuse started or stopped, is when he started to display this?
Yeah. Um. So it started happening, and like I obviously saw a change in my son's behavior, right? But I didn't know why it was happening. I had no idea. Um, and it wasn't until he was a little bit older and able to verbalize what was happening to him that I knew, like, okay, this is what's going on. This is why.
Okay. So then, and they've progressively gotten worse since then.
Mm-hmm.
Were there any time periods that they got better?
No.
Do you have it? So you have no reward system set up in the home for if you do this, you can earn this.
Mm-mm. No.
Well, I can say for sure that's one thing that probably needs to be that we're going to need to work on to try to put some routine and structure into place.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a good idea.
I think another thing may be putting up a behavior chart
Mm-hmm.
so that he knows what behaviors he's specifically going to be held accountable for.
Mm-hmm.
And he can see that if he is not doing what he's supposed to do, that it is being checked off, being whatever, so that he knows, look, 10 times today you have not done what you're supposed to do. And if you have more than whatever number you said, more than 7 incidents, then you can't earn your video game time, or every 3 incidents you have, reduce your video game time by an hour.
That makes sense.
And if you have a violent outburst, then it causes this. So it has to be something that's tangible and in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So when he is aggressive, what does he usually get out of it?
Mm. Probably my attention in general.
But there are no consequences pretty much to him being violent.
No.
Well, that's one of the other things we're going to have to look at, because we start to create patterns according to what we do or what we don't do.
Mhm.
And so he's learned that you've reinforced his violence.
You're gonna make me cry.
I'm not trying to make you cry, ma'am.
Okay, we can do that.
Like I said, this is a hard conversation, but the fact that you're having it means you actually want to help your son.
I do.
So do you need a break for a couple minutes to get yourself together?
Yeah, I would appreciate that.
All right, so we'll take a 10-minute break.
Hmm.
All righty.